Hey everyone, it's Emily here, and today I am bringing you the books that are on my radar for this spring. So I decided this year that I wasn't going to do TBRs because I don't like feeling restricted to I have to read a certain thing, other than if I'm doing like a readathon or something. But I do want to talk about books that I kind of have in my line of vision that I am interested in reading at some point. And I didn't really read all the ones I talked about in January, but oh well. But here are the books I have on my radar for this spring. So, of course, in May, one of the most anticipated books on BookTube is coming out. A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. It is the third book in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, trilogy. I really don't know, but it's going to be awesome, and I'm super excited about it. In order to prepare, I will read the first two books to be sure I have everything fresh in my memory. So I will read A Court of Thorns and Roses sometime in March, and I will read A Court of Mist and Fury sometime in April, and then in May we'll get to A Court of Wings and Ruin, and it's going to be amazing. And I'm excited, and I'm scared. And one of my super anticipated books is The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. Because in case you're new here, I'm kind of obsessed with Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda. I might have read it 4 times last year. Yeah, you heard that right. 4 times. I read it 4 times. And so, obviously, I have Becky Albertalli's next book on pre-order. And I'm going to read the crap out of it. And it's going to be amazing. And a book I recently picked up from the used bookstore is The Iron Hunt by Marjorie M. Liu. Apparently she also wrote the graphic novel Monstrous that some people have read. But yeah, I really love urban fantasy, and I've been on a like urban fantasy kick for like a year now. But I haven't found many Own Voices ones. It's Own Voices. Look at a person of color, a woman of color on the cover. And it's an urban fantasy. I'm super excited, and the premise is super awesome. Like, so she has all these tattoos, and she's like a demon hunter, but her tattoos are demons, and they protect her, and then someday, like, the tattoos will go to her daughter. It just seems like a really cool premise. So I am really super excited to get to this book. And then a book that I'm pretty sure a lot of people have already read because it came out, like, at the end of February, is A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab, and I read the first 2 books, and I am definitely going to pick up the next one. Like, I'm not outrageously excited about it, because I did enjoy Vicious more, and I haven't read The Savage Song yet, and I liked Vicious more than the A Darker Shade of Magic books, but I do want to know what happens, and I do want to get it, so I will get A Conjuring of Light soon, one of these days. Then we have The Burning World by Isaac Marion. I didn't even know this book existed until Trina from Between Chapters mentioned it on her channel one day, and this is the sequel to Warm Bodies by Isaac Marion. I freaking love Warm Bodies. Like, the movie was really good, but the book is, like, even better. It's so good, and I'm obsessed with it, and I had no idea that there was going to be a sequel. So she talked about it, and I was like, why didn't anybody tell me about this? So I basically ordered it immediately, but I haven't gotten to it yet, because holy crap, this is like a 500-page book, guys. The first book is, like, not that long. It's super short. So I got this in the mail, and I was like, wow, this is a big boy. But I'm super excited to find out what R and Julie are up to and all my other favorite characters. And, Warm Bodies is fantastic. It's super weird. Like, the zombie love story thing is weird, but I like it. Then there is the new release Winter Song. So I kind of have no idea what this book is about. But I realize that the author is one of the hosts of one of my favorite podcasts, Pub Crawl. They talk about publishing, and one of the hosts is the author of this book, and I was like, whoa, how did I not know this? I have to read this book immediately because I love her. So again, I have no idea what it's about. I'm assuming it's a fantasy and it's something to do with winter. I don't know, but I need to read it. Then I am planning to read The Irresistible Revolution this month by Shane Claiborne. It actually would be a reread for me. I read this book back in college, and I loved it. And it is a non-fiction, faith-based book, but it kind of talks about social justice and kind of standing up for human rights and making a difference in the world. And I just felt like it was very appropriate for right now, what's going on in the world, in society, and the U.S. government. And I just thought it'd be really good to reread this book, and I have an updated edition of it, so I'm pretty excited to see what these updates are. I also really want to read the book Still by Lauren F. Winters. I reread her book Girl Meets God earlier this year, and I loved it, and now I want to read everything she's written ever. And this is another one of her own memoirs, and it kind of talks about her and her doubts with faith. I believe it deals with grief and doubt and kind of learning to work through those things, and I think that'd be really, really interesting. And then another book that is being released this spring is Given to the Sea by Mindy McGinnis, and Mindy McGinnis, she's basically awesome. I love all of her books. I love Madness So Discreet. I loved Not a Drop to Drink. I really want to read the sequel to Not a Drop to Drink and The Female of the Species, but Given to the Sea is a fantasy, and it's a standalone fantasy, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. It's a standalone or a duology or something. But it's by Mindy McGinnis, and so I'm I have to read it. And I freaking love fantasy, so there we go. And finally, one of my own personal most anticipated books of the year that I'm sure no one else cares about, but I'm super excited about it, and that is the final book in the Chicagoland Vampire series by Chloe Neal, Blade Bound. It's coming out in April, and I'm freaking out that this is the last book of the series because I binge read it all last year, and this is the 13th book and the final book, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it myself. I mean, I've heard there is going to be a spin-off series, which I'm very excited about because I don't think I'm ready to let go of the Chicagoland Vampires. But I'm still super excited about this book because I finished the last book a few months ago, and now I'm deprived of the Chicagoland Vampires, and I need it. I need it right now. So there you go. The books I have on my radar for this spring. Let me know what books are on your radar this spring, and let me know if you read any of these books, if you're excited for any of these books that are new releases, and I will see you all later. Bye.